up, guys? Mike here with Cards Do Sports Cards. All right, back today with another monthly video recapping January 2025, talking about some of the sales I've made, lessons learned, strategy changed, money made, money lost, and so much more. We have a lot to cover today, so let's jump right in. Before we do, if you want to unlock the secrets of selling and investing in low-end sports cards on eBay, this channel is your go-to source for expert tips, honest insights, and strategies to help boost your eBay sales. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me if you want to stay ahead in the card selling game, maximize your profits, and take your eBay card selling business to the next level. You can also check out my other channel at Puck Mike, where I open and talk about hockey cards. All right, January was not a terrible month. Almost, I think, about 80 cards sold total. Most of those did go at auction on eBay, and I'm going to talk about what I'm going to be changing there. First thing I want to do here is an investments check-in, because I've talked about this on previous videos, so I want to do that. So let's jump right into that first. Now, if you're new to the channel, or you haven't seen the videos I've done where I've talked about how I'm investing in some of these and how these cards are different from the lots of cards I buy, basically these are the targeted purchases of players I'm buying specifically to make profit, or at least that's the goal, to see if I can make profit actually investing in sports cards. There's no timeline on these. I know there's some philosophies out there that you need to buy them and flip them right away and turn that money into other money. That's totally fine. These, I'm specifically trying to maximize my profit by selling at the time when I think they will mature the highest. So that's where you see I have this investment period here. This is how long I think it'll take to kind of mature some of these cards. So we're just going to go through these, and check in on some of these. I don't have the date of birth here, so the age is not 125 years old for some of these players. So once I enter the date of birth, the formula will pick it up the right way. But anyway, some of these I bought last year. So Josh Williams here, 2023 Bowman U Auto. So we're going to check in, and when I talk about investments check-in, I'm really checking in on a couple things. I'm going to check in on the player, look at the latest news, see what they're up to. So I've done some preliminary research here just to make sure I was ahead of the game, and I think, if I remember correctly, he did declare for the draft. Yep, so he did declare for the 2025 NFL draft. 6 seasons with the Tigers. He was a grad student, really loved by the team, real bedrock of the team. I don't know where he's going to go in the draft. Did we even get the draft rankings yet? Not in the top 50 of that list. Oh, NFL Draft Buzz. This is actually the site I used to find these players before. Let me see where this guy's ranked here. This is a really good site. You see, even in the draft ranking, yes, I mean, it doesn't look like he's going to be like a first-round pick or anything like that, but the draft is what, April 24th, 26th. We'll check back on the rankings closer to the draft. I'm going to say maybe April 1st here. I want to check back and see how this guy's doing. So then I'll sort it by the next review date. So April 1st, that'll put him down to April 1st. So we can look at some of these other players. Isaiah Drake, this was a 2022 Leaf Auto. Leaf Autos don't usually sell super great. Can't remember. This guy's okay. He has 19. He was a 5th-round pick. Probably not going to be making the big leagues this year. This article says, he's high upside bat, lower levels of the Braves system. Didn't have a great start to the minor leagues. Considering Drake will be his age, 19 mid-July. This site has him as a 2028 ETA in terms of optimism, in terms of him getting to the big leagues. So I'm totally fine with that. I mean, I think I bought this for, $5-6. I'm going to do a next review maybe sometime over the summer. I don't see him making big leagues anytime soon, but I know that. See, I have this investment period as 3 to 5 years. And again, this is just, I'm trying to see what could work in terms of investment. If you want to really make money at these and I get some cards that I hit on, like do this on a larger scale, then that's the goal here. But for now, I'm just kind of having fun tracking some of these. Torrey Horton, this was actually one I scooped up last year, and this is a really good lesson. I scooped this up, and really you should be doing this now, or well, as we get closer to the draft. I think this was a guy who declared for the draft, but he ended up not. He decided, I think, last minute, or he didn't get drafted, to go back to college and finish his year, or he didn't declare and just decided he was going to go back. And so I scooped this card up for $14. I think it's a graded SGC 10, but I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, he got hurt at the end of the year. It was a really good year. He got hurt. I'm assuming he's probably, he got hurt 4 months ago. He's out for the season, but I'm assuming he probably declared for the draft. Let's just double check. This was an old article, but prospect to watch for the Chiefs 2025. I don't know if he's declared yet, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he's done with college. I think that was his last year. So that one I want to watch as we get closer to the draft. I'm actually going to revisit this in a couple months, so I'll revisit that one. Look, I'm not going to go through all these right now, because some of these, as you can see, I don't have a review coming up, but just kind of to give you an idea of how I'm tracking these, what my thoughts are. These Cole Schwint ones I just picked up. You can watch my video where I bought those. Actually just got hurt. Really good time to buy his cards if you want to buy while it's low. But with him, he's got his contract up at the end of this year. He's only 24. He's shown that he can score goals in the minors. I think he has potential to have a little bit of hype. I don't think it's going to be like a superstar type thing, but I could see him having some aren't hype enough where I could sell some of these cards. Got a couple SGC 10, PSA 10, the patch auto, so kind of excited about those. Igor Sokolov, you saw me buy those on screen if you watched that video as well. Let's just check in on him real quick. He's still in the minor league. I usually check what he's been doing in recent games. I mean, he hasn't been that great. This is when I kind of bought his cards. He was having a pretty good week here in the minors. Actually was one of the 3 stars of the week. I still think he has upside. I think he's in the Utah system, 25. I could see him getting a main roster spot next year. Who knows if he has a hot start to the season. Be a good time to list those. I'm going to check back March 1st, especially as the season starts to kind of wind down. A lot of these clubs that they know they're not going to make the playoffs, they're going to call up some guys from the minor leagues, see what they can do. So that could bring a little bit of hype. Not the full hype that I'm hoping for in terms of his value maturing to the highest, but I put it at 0 to 6 months, so we'll see what happens there. Some of these other ones I'm not really going to do a ton of research on. I've looked at them recently in the last check-in. I mean, a lot of these MLB guys, I mean, they're young, 20, 21, no MLB games played yet. Double check this guy, he's only 20. I don't see him getting in anytime soon. Yeah, so a lot of these, I just scooped these up, kind of totally shot in the dark on some of these. Didn't do a ton of research. This is before I was really doing a lot of the investing like I'm doing right now, or trying to invest in some of these. I just scooped some of these up last year, so who knows, with some of these might be duds. This one here, I feel good about this one just because his brother actually made his debut for the Nashville Predators. He's a little bit younger here. He's 21. I don't think he actually has been drafted yet, so I'm hoping he can maybe get drafted this year, but he's at least a couple years away, if anything. Hoping this guy gets into the minor leagues next year. But yeah, just want to do a little bit of a check-in here. You can kind of see my method for how I'm doing this. I don't do this for every card. Obviously, there's only 18 on this list. It takes a lot of time to do this, but this is actually kind of a fun part of it, other than just, the grind of buying collections, listing the cards, mostly low-end cards, maybe some mid-end cards, getting some graded cards. That's fine, but this is actually fun to see if I can buy a player's card, track them over time, and get a return on that card. Having a lot of fun doing that. If that's something you want to do, go ahead, give it a shot. If not, totally fine as well, but I know it's possible because I've done it before with some other cards. I know other people have done it, so pretty exciting. And yeah, we'll do another one of these, not every month, but as we kind of go through the months and as these hopefully increase in value or even decrease in value and decide, I'm just going to list it because I think it's matured as much as it can, or it's going to be a loss, totally fine. I'm just going to list it. We'll talk about those as well, but pretty cool. Just wanted to do this on screen a little bit this month. Now, the other thing I want to talk about here is how I'm changing the way that I'm analyzing and tracking my card sales data. Now, you guys know, especially if you've watched some of my early videos, how I am a big proponent of being able to track your card sales and profits down to the individual card level so that on any given purchase, did I make money on this card or did I lose money on this card? And if I made money, how much money did I make? And I do still believe that that information is very valuable. And I do still have the ability to do this in the tracking sheet that I use. But what I've also started to do is start to look at some of the big picture metrics as the business has grown, like cash in, cash out on a monthly basis. Basically, did I spend more money than I made last month? Gross margins versus net margins. Now, you kind of can't have those numbers without still being able to track down your profits down to the card level, just because your cards are your product and you have to know what your margins are on your product to get those numbers. So again, it's not like I'm skipping this completely and not doing this at all, but I'm trying to look at a lot more of these bigger picture numbers to give myself a better idea of the business's overall financial health. Look, tracking each card takes a lot of time. And again, when I say this and when I've talked about this on other videos, I have a lot of this automated in a spreadsheet. So I don't want you to think that I'm suggesting you have to go to eBay, export these reports, and then literally go line by line and go, okay, wait, this one was this one was this. That's kind of crazy, right? So a lot of this I do have automated in a sheet. And I've shown that on previous videos as well, but there's a lot more than I can automate there. And the reality is not every expense is going to be the same for every purchase. I can estimate, okay, if it's one card, it's going to be sold this way. This is how much it's going to cost based on I'm going to ship it in a top loader, team bag, envelope, shipping label, etc. What happens if it's a little bit of a thicker card? What if somebody buys a little bit of a thicker card and then 2 regular point cards? So there's all these different scenarios you kind of have to account for that really takes the automation out of those types of scenarios. So there is some manual work that has to be done in a lot of cases. So I'm not abandoning that completely. I still have that sheet. If I still want to know how much profit I made on a single card, I can still retrieve that information pretty quickly, but I'm focusing more on these overall numbers, like I mentioned, and big picture numbers to see basically, is this business profitable or not? And how is it trending on a month in, month out basis? Which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about before I talk about what I'm changing in February, and that is my YouTube channel. And how does this channel fit into the overall picture of the business's financial health? Now, my goal when I started this channel was to get it to the point where I could monetize the channel. channel. And thankfully, with all of your support, I've done that. I'm not rich from YouTube. I still have a day job. And the reason I want to bring this up though is because it is part of the revenue for my sports card business. It's basically another piece of the pie, just like some of the affiliate marketing income that I get is another piece of the pie. So it's not just selling cards. You want to diversify your income as much as you can. You don't want to get crazy and try to sell something that doesn't relate at all to your business, but this is my sports card enterprise, and it's not just the cards that I'm trying to make money from. But I don't have a YouTube channel about trying to sell sports cards if I'm not actually trying to sell sports cards. So if I can make money on YouTube for some months, it helps offset the costs of some of the sports cards, and that contributes to the revenue that I generate for my sports card enterprise for that month, and that contributes to the margins. That's revenue for my business, and that should be taken into account with my gross and net margins. Just like any other business would do the same thing. It's all just all of your revenue from all your different sources. Yes, you can break that out if you want and see, okay, which division is giving me the most revenue or not a lot of revenue, but it's still, that's all revenue coming in for your enterprise. So look, the reason I bring this up, I don't want to talk about making money on YouTube too much, but I do want to bring it up. Number one, because I know there's people that watch this channel that have their own channels, or maybe you're thinking about starting your own channel to document your sports card selling business. And I want you guys to know it's perfectly fine to do that, and make sure you include that revenue as part of the revenue for your overall income for the business. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. And the second thing is, even if you're not into YouTube, you don't want to do a YouTube channel, totally fine. Think of other ways. That's the deeper lesson here. Think of other ways you could maybe diversify your income within the business. You know, maybe you don't want to just sell on eBay. Maybe you want to get onto some other platforms and try to get some other income streams that way. That's totally fine. That's the deeper lesson here, is every single business tries to look for different revenue streams to increase their overall revenue for the business and increase their profit margins. So nothing wrong with doing that at all. Okay, and lastly, what's changing for me this month in my sports card selling business? So if you remember at the beginning of the year, I talked about my goal for this year was to list 16 cards per day, 8 at auction and 8 at fixed price on eBay. And about halfway through January, I switched to all fixed price listings on eBay, and I'm still doing 16 per day. And the main reason I made this switch is because the auction listings were not selling at high prices, and I wasn't looking for them to sell at like $9, $10. Most of them I would start at 85 cents with free shipping, and maybe I started those a little bit low, but at the very least I really like to get, especially the low end cards, at least $2, $3 out of those. It does help give me some profit on those cards, even if it's just a little bit, especially when I offer free shipping. But the other main reason here is not just because of that, but the other main reason is, the thought was those listings would help generate other traffic to my store for my fixed price listings, and it just didn't do that. I got a few more followers and it did boost it a little bit, but it just didn't do that. Most people just bought the auction listings and really didn't buy a lot of the fixed price listings. And so I kind of took that away. And actually the last week or two since I've done that, I'm getting some sales on my fixed price listings, and I'm selling less cards, but the cards I am selling, I am making profit on those. I have good margins on those and I'm making profit. And that's the deeper question. I don't regret doing the auction listings. It was all born of a video that I watched about how to kind of jumpstart your eBay store. And I definitely recommend, if you want to do that, get 20 cards that will sell, list them pretty cheap at an auction. It'll get your store kicking a little bit. You'll sell some cards. But the deeper question is, yeah, I could sell 20 cards now and lose money on all of those cards, and I'm generating business, it's great. Or I could sell maybe 5 cards and generate profit on all of those cards. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. It's a lot of work, especially I have a day job at the end of the day to, okay, now I need to package up all these cards. It's a lot of work to do that for cards where you're not making any money. So maybe I sell less cards, but your time is very valuable. And the other thing to note here is people in this hobby have disposable income to spend. And that was one thing I told myself for a while, that, a lot of people in this hobby don't have a lot of money. And that's true. A lot of people, they're not after high-end cards. They're not spending $300 or $400. And so there is a market for the lower end cards. Because for a lot of people, that's all they can afford, and that's totally fine. But a lot of people in this hobby, they have disposable income. They're people that work jobs. They're buying boxes for their kids. They have money in a lot of cases. And so I'm going to go back to all fixed price listings for now. Maybe I'll do a few auctions here and there, but for now I'm going to go back to the fixed price listings. It's been working pretty good. I anticipate that I will sell less cards doing it that way, but again, if I'm selling less cards but they're cards where I'm actually making profit, that's okay with me for now as I continue to figure this out, continue to find better inventory. That's the other thing too. If I'm going to do that, I want to find really good inventory, really creative cards that are really cool, autos, graded cards, things like that. So super excited about that in the coming months. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you want to unlock the secrets of selling and investing in low-end sports cards on eBay, this channel is your go-to source for expert tips, honest insights, and strategies to help boost your eBay sales. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button for me if you want to stay ahead in the card selling game, maximize your profits, and take your eBay card selling business to the next level. You can also check out my other channel at Puck Mike, where I open and talk about hockey cards. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.